Biting, icy wind whistled through the open car windows, and Sydney shuddered. It had to be at least 20 degrees colder up in the mountains. She raised the windows and hunched over the steering wheel, her already tense shoulders tightening further, like a jack-in-the-box about to pop. Hot food. She needed hot food. What she really needed was a memory eraser. She'd gladly give up any shred of happiness from the last 10 years if it meant losing the last 12 hours. Connor and the blonde. The sting in her mouth as she realized she'd chewed her lip enough to bleed. The deeply creased, pitying stare on her mother's face when she'd arrived like a lost puppy at her door. A shaky exhale breezed past her nostrils. One thing at a time. She pulled her BMW into the sparsely populated parking lot of Utz's, a shadowy, nondescript bar with a flashing "hot food to go" sign in the window. Her stomach yawning with hunger, she scurried out of the warm car and into the fresh, pine-scented air. She might have fled to Pine Ridge under desperate circumstances, but she breathed its perfumed atmosphere into her lungs like a tourist on vacation. A bright blue flyer caught the wind and stuck against the leg of her yoga pants before she snatched it up. Bingo night at Utz's. Door prizes. Cheap drinks. All-you-can-eat hot wings. Jesus, she muttered. Hot wings. As if they spelled it correctly, nobody would show up. With a grimace, she tucked the flyer in a nearby trash can and hugged her cashmere cardigan tighter around her body, aching for any comfort she could find. But nothing could erase the memory of that asshole's stupid face as he grunted and moaned, the random blonde perched atop his hips. She shook off the highlight reel running in her head. Hot food. She'd promised her mother hot food for dinner. A tiny bell rang over the door as she entered Utz's. Two burly men at the bar in front of her turned over their hulking shoulders and, after a cursory glance, resumed watching the football game blaring from the TV set on the wall. "Howdy," the elderly bartender greeted her. A halo of gray hair framed his head, and a friendly grin pressed into his ruddy, moon-shaped face. "What can I do you for?" "Do you have a food menu? I'm going to get some things to go." He slid a paper menu toward her and turned back to the football game. Sydney scanned the offerings. Fried clams, burgers, fried chicken sandwiches, nachos, pizza, French fries, onion rings. She twisted her lips and calculated probable calorie counts. So much fat, so many carbs, not a green vegetable in sight. Maybe just for today, while the dull ache in her chest thudded in time with Connor and the blonde, she'd take a cheat day. A cheat day. Her lips curled into a bitter grin. What would her mother like? It had been years since they'd spent any real time together. Was she a vegetarian now? Nah, couldn't be. The last time Sydney had ventured up to Pine Ridge, they'd eaten out at the nicest place in town, and Karen had ordered the cheeseburger. Sydney ordered 2 chili cheeseburgers, French fries, onion rings, and something called mixed vegetables, which probably came from a can but might be worth the gamble. She climbed onto a bar stool to wait for her food and glanced around the space. TV sets played the Giants game, signs advertised fried food specials, and the heavy scent of stale beer and cleaning fluid hung in the air. On a typical Thursday evening, she'd be sipping drinks with Connor at the plush Nomad bar, or cooing over art she didn't understand at an opening downtown. Since she'd been let go from her job at the law firm a year ago, she'd slipped seamlessly into the role of Connor's girlfriend. Silk blouses appeared in her closet as her "The Future is Female" t-shirt found its way to the donate pile. She joined a Tuesday morning book club. Instead of watching football at a dark, dingy bar on Sunday afternoons, she brunched with Connor and his finance buddies. She'd needed a break from the stress of work, but as time passed and she handed over control of her days to Connor, she'd lost little bits of herself without even noticing.